Yeah, I think the guidelines say that a proportion of the funds can be invested with fund managers in equities. So we would want to adopt as prudent a stance as possible. So reducing the proportion invested in higher risk investments, probably zero in equities, mostly in fixed deposits and government securities. Well, we intend to work with our existing, within our existing resources and budget, but by working with community organizations, VWOs, and fundraising efforts, we hope to be able to push through these initiatives. Well, I think that it's good that he's apologized, and let's move on. He's admitted the mistakes that were made. Let's see what the verdict of the voters is. Sorry, I forgot actually to say Alex Tan is here to say a few words about the issues affecting Ang Mo Kio residents. Alex, would you? Maybe somebody could change places with him.
Hello, hi. Yeah, by the way, what was your question?
What are your plans for Ang Mo Kio?
What are my plans for Ang Mo Kio? Okay, basically, for Ang Mo Kio itself, we also have our 5-year plans. HDB blocks along Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1, 3, and 5. Basically, most of the HDB flats over there are more than 20 and 30 years old. Most of them would actually require maintenance and repainting as per normal. As for covered walkways, we have actually detailed out into specific streets and avenues. Now, most importantly of all is to link amenities to the HDB flats. And the same way that Toa Payoh Lorong 8 under the Potong Pasir ward have been done up. And most importantly of all, basically, is to ensure that actually the Ang Mo Kio itself is actually very focused on elderly care. I mean, accessibility for the elderly especially. Yeah. For the town councils, let's just say if we manage to get the mandate of the Ang Mo Kio residents, our town councils will focus on helping out the elderly and the destitutes, and especially we are aware of the amount of street peddlers and public performers on the streets. We intend to set up a 24-hour service center which can provide assistance to these needies especially. And we intend to, basically over here in Ang Mo Kio itself, we also have quite a number of rental flats. We intend to focus basically on our help and fundings basically on these residents. Yeah. As for those living in Seletar Hills, Jalan Kayu, private estates, accessibility has always been a problem, and amenities as well. There have been this food market. There's a shortage of food market and basically shops, and especially those distribution shops like NTUC, Shop and Save, and Cold Storage in these private estates. So we actually intend to work with the LTA as well to basically to open up new routes, especially for Mimosa Walk area, linking to Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5. Yeah. So basically that's basically sum up our plans for Ang Mo Kio Town Council within Ang Mo Kio GRC.
I've got that's up to the voters. I can't comment on that. The matter is closed and we've moved on. Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit more about this? You say you want to start an inquiry to find out why there are less flat markets now?
What I said was that as part of our strategy of empowering consumers and voters, individuals, We want to see more inquiry, greater competition, and where there's too much monopoly power, too much concentration, to see that whether that can be reduced, broken up, regulated in some way. For instance, in the UK, the Competition Commission will look at whether there are too few supermarkets of one particular company operating in a particular area, and will look at the effect that this has on prices. Usually you can find, as you have fewer supermarkets within a particular area, you can usually find that it has a statistically significant effect on pricing. So higher prices. So we would want to see more outlets, more competition, and keeping wet markets going if that can be economically viable.
Actually, what we're doing today is giving a very broad overview of the 5-year plan. So all those details we will explain when elected into Parliament. Because these are all nitty-gritty details, but the point of the 5-year plan is to give the overview, the overall goals and objectives of what we plan to do in West Coast to make it a better estate for residents there to live in.
Can I also add that we are very confident that we are able to raise funds for our community fund to basically renovate, revitalize, and reintegrate the West Coast GRC?
I think I've already set out the arguments adequately elsewhere. Firstly, why minimum wage is better. Minimum wage would operate for both foreign and Singaporean workers alike. We'd look at the gross wage, including for the foreign worker the foreign levies, and for Singaporean workers plus the CPF. We would set it at a level that we're very conscious that we shouldn't burden our local businesses too excessively, so we would set it at a level that was not likely to cause too many problems. And as it operates as a tax on labour, it would encourage employers to use their labour more productively, thus fulfilling one of our goals, which is to raise productivity.
I'd also like to add on minimum wage. On minimum wage, we'd like to point out that Hong Kong, which has an economy that in many ways is similar to Singapore, Hong Kong introduced the minimum wage in July 2010 last year, and which is in line with the steps that rich developed first world countries have taken all throughout the world. Also on minimum wage, business owners are concerned that it will affect their bottom line, and would like to point out that the direction Singapore has moved towards is a knowledge-based economy, of which minimum wage workers make up a very minimum number of workers in the economy. So the impact is very minimal, but the advantages are huge compared to what we can do for the less advantaged, those living at the poverty line in Singapore.
Yeah. And can I just add on to that when we talk about, it's often said that minimum wage will increase unemployment, but unemployment for whom? Because if the employer is faced with the choice between a Singaporean and a foreign worker, but the foreign worker can't undercut the Singaporean, then he may choose to employ a Singaporean instead. So the idea is not really to burden business with higher costs, but to put a floor under the rate, under labour costs, so that they can't be driven down by importing cheap labour from cheaper and cheaper sources. But I wish, I was going to say that I wish you would also focus on some of our other ideas, like nobody has covered our proposal to allow HDB owners to buy out the freehold, but you seem to keep coming back to minimum wage rather than featuring our other proposals. basically we have a housing policy which has its roots in socialist Britain of the 1950s, and we believe the true route to democracy and prosperity is having a outright property owning middle class for the bulk of Singaporeans. Thank you.